Welcome back. In the last videos we took a look at the pieces movement and the checks and everything. Now it's time to take a look at how the game ends. So the game of chess ends in a few different ways. One is white winning, one is black winning, and there are a few positions that might lead to the draw. One of those positions that leads to a draw is stalemate. Stalemate is when enemy king is not check, it's their turn, but they have no legal move to do. So let me give you an example. I will go to helper here. Let's comment these out, and let's have a rook, a king, and a black king. Let's put this in the corner, put this here, and this is fine. So it's white's turn. If I move the rook here, now it's black's turn. Black is not under check, but at the same time black's king does not have any legal moves. Anywhere it goes, it will be a check. So in such case, we would say that the game ends in a draw by stalemate. So yeah, let's go and find out how we can detect a stalemate in a chess game. Okay, let's leave this as is, and let's go to the pieces when the move happens. So here, when the move happens, now I need to detect the stalemate, so to say. So here I can say that let's write a function in the arbiter and we call it here. So it is a stalemate. Current position, which is the new position, and the player that has the turn to play, so opponent, and we need, I think, the castle direction as well. So I will give these 3 to the stalemate, and the stalemate will tell us that is enemy in stalemate state or not. So I would say that log. Okay. Now I need to first define these two and then write these functions. So let's go here. And the castle direction. Right. Now let's go and write this in the arbiter. Okay, here I'm getting the moves as described, and in the end I can say return is not is in check and moves.length is 0. So if I am not in check and I have no move to do, then I will be stalemate situation. Let's test it here. If I go here, now it's a stalemate. If I do this, black has move. Okay, this should be an if. obviously. So if I go here, not stalemate, and it's a regular game, but if I go here, then it's a stalemate. Awesome. Okay. So now instead of doing this, I can say that the game has ended in a draw. So let me dispatch something that will be then picked up by this pop-up. So I would say that dispatch, let's say detect stalemate. And obviously we need to write this. So let's go to the actions. Here, first in the action type, I can say that then in the actions, in the game, we need to write a action here. So detect stalemate. It will get the stalemate here, and it doesn't have any payload, so to say. So it just says that the stalemate is detected, and then in the reducer, let me grab one of these, paste it here, stalemate. The only thing that I need to do is set the status to stalemate, and then it will be picked up by the pop-up that we have here. Alright, let me remove this and it will be added automatically. Let's go here, refresh, go to the components and see if this is picked up. The status should change when I move. So if I do this, the status changes to game draws due to stalemate, which is done, which is here. And this should trigger a pop-up. Yes, we have the pop-up here. Okay, let's go to the pop-up and write something there. Where is my pop-up? It's here. So I don't want the promotion to be here. I just want to move it to the place that I defined the pop-up first. So let me go to the board here and say that I have the promotion and I have another thing called GameEnds, and it will be triggered when the game ends. Okay, now that I define it like this, first I need to add these two to the import statements. For now, let me copy and paste this like this, and then I will write it. So that I have no error for now. And here I have the pop-up, but in the pop-up I need to first remove it from here. Yeah, this is looking at that, so it should be GameEnds. I just want to render whatever I pass here with this unclosed pop-up. So I would say that react.children.toArray of the children, which is added here, and then map each child to be a react.element of that child and then add this to it as a prop. Okay, so this should work the same. Basically, these two will be rendered here and mapped to themselves plus this function, and this function will be used here in the promotion box as it was before. So let's go and test it to see if it's still working. Okay, I will do a promotion. So let's say this. Yep, the promotion works the same. Okay, cool. So now I need to write the other one, which is the GameEnds. This GameEnds, let me first rename this part. This GameEnds will be triggered when the status is a win or a lose. So let me remove all of these for now. Let's keep the pop-up inner, and there might be other classes as well. Okay, for now just render something. We would just say draw and h1. So this should not render if the status is taken from the app state. So status, if status is the game status dot, if it's ongoing or if it's promoting, then I don't need to render anything, so I just return null here. Otherwise the game has ended by looking at these status that we have here. So white wins, black wins, stalemate or insufficient. All of these are the end of the game. So if a state is none of these two, then we should render something. So otherwise we render these, and let's go and check. So status is now ongoing. I cannot do anything here because I will be under check, and I cannot see that pop-up, which is correct when I did the promotion. Okay, so let me go back here and change this to the state that it was a stalemate and see what happens. Was it like this? No. It was something like this. Right. So if I move my rook here, yeah, we can see the pop up and it say draw. Awesome. Here we can check that if it is a win or not. So I say that so if I look at the status, these two are for wins and these two are for draws. I am looking at these two values and it's either of them, then it's a win. Otherwise it's a draw. And I'm using this winning because I need to render something different when it's a win or if it's not a win. So here first I can say that if it's a win, then we should say that show the status. Otherwise say that it's a draw. Right? Then I have some P which says that why the game ends in a draw. So when it's not a when it's not a isWin, then I can show the status, right? So yeah, game draws due to stalemate. Okay, cool. A div here with some class name that we will trigger in the in CSS. So it will be the status that we have, and then final thing is that I need a button that when I click it, it creates a new game. Just like this, and let's call it new game. For now that function is nothing, but we will write it soon. So yeah, you can see that it's like this. Okay, now it's time for some CSS to make this a little bit beautiful, so to say. So we have a pop-up inner. Let me add another class here, pop-up inner center first, so that it goes to the center, and then some CSS for these ones. Pop-up CSS here. I will just fast forward because it's just basic CSS. Okay, now it's much more better. Just the only thing is that this button, and I will make this a global CSS so that it will be used elsewhere. So let's go to the app.css and here button. Okay, now it's much more better. So the next thing is that I need to, when I click this new game, a new position appears and I can start a new game. So that can be done using another set of action types, actions, and reducers. New game here. In the actions, game. Let's call it set up new game. And the type is new game. The payload is init game state, because we want to return to the game state that we had, the initial. And let's go to the reducer here. For the new game, we just return the action.payload, which is the new game, and overwrites everything in the state. Yeah, that should be working fine now. Let's go back here, refresh. Let's make a few moves. And yeah, game ends in a draw. But I didn't write the function for this. So when game ends, here in the new game, I can just say dispatch this function and this should work. So go here, set up new game, click, and the new game. and it goes to the initial position, which is this for now. Okay, so this stalemate is done. In the next video we will take a look at winning for white and black, and another kind of draw, which is insufficient material. Take care and see you in the next video.